Welcome to the Mind Duty. Breakups are bad enough without the extra drama of being ghosted. At least when a guy leaves and tells you it's over, you know what's going on. But when he just disappears without saying goodbye and never truly opens up about what went wrong, it just feels so much worse. Here's how to decode and recover from this hurtful move. Number 1. He's weak. I'm going to cut straight to the chase here. It's easy to say things 1,000 different ways, but I want to be clear. One of the most common reasons he left without saying goodbye is that he's weak. It's really not more complicated than that. Your guy may be a bodybuilder or a famed martial artist, but he's as weak as they come if he left without saying goodbye. Ghosting someone in a serious relationship is about as weak as it gets, and fading out slowly while never fully breaking up and then just disappearing is the coward's way out. You may be in love and want to believe the best about this guy, but you need to realize that what he did is utter shit. If he had the courage to say hello to you, he should have had the courage to say goodbye as well. You don't show courage by jumping off a cliff or driving a car at the maximum speed. You show courage by looking the person you promised love to straight in the eye and saying whatever it is that you have to say. You look the person in the eye and you say you're leaving. Number 2. He fell in love with another woman. Another one of the top reasons he left without saying goodbye is if he fell in love with another woman. How would this relate to him ditching you without breaking up? It's related to the last point. Cowardice. This guy wants to have his cake and eat it too. He wants the new girl, but without the messiness of breaking up with you and talking about feelings and all that. He knows that leaving without a goodbye makes him the bad guy. But he won't have to deal with the fallout. It's like the type of scum who joke about hooking up with girls without protection and then say they don't care about any consequences for the women after. These people want to have their fun and good times, but they have zero willingness to face the consequences of their decisions or be open about what they're really doing. Good luck to the new girl, I guess. Number 3. You didn't trigger his inner hero. Leaving without even saying a goodbye is mean. However, not every guy has the courage to face an uncomfortable conversation. And while there might be plenty of his personal traumas he deals with, the reason he acted this way may partly lay in some of your actions. You see, for guys, it's all about triggering their inner hero, and it's something most women don't know anything about. Once triggered, these drivers make men into the heroes of their own lives. They feel better, love harder, and commit stronger when they find someone who knows how to trigger it. Now, you may be wondering why it's called the hero instinct. Do guys really need to feel like superheroes to commit to a woman? Not at all. Forget about Marvel. You won't need to play the damsel in distress or buy your man a cape. The truth is, it comes at no cost or sacrifice to you. With only a few small changes in how you approach him, you'll tap into a part of him no woman has tapped into before. Because that's the beauty of the hero instinct. It's only a matter of knowing the right things to say to make him realize that he wants you and only you. Number 4. He has deep wounds from childhood. Another one of the biggest reasons he left without saying goodbye can be if he has deep wounds from childhood. This in no way excuses him, but it does help explain a lot. Many men who were abandoned in childhood or faced traumatic mistreatment may be unable or unwilling to face the pain of the end of a relationship. Rather than talk it out or tell you straight up that he's leaving, this guy may have opted to hit the road and never look back, blocking you on social media and disappearing like a ghost. It's sad and it's cowardly, but when he has deep wounds from childhood, you can definitely see some of his motivations to not be honest with you. Number 5. He has deep wounds from past relationships. On a related note, another of the reasons he left without saying goodbye can be if he has deep wounds from past relationships. Ironically, many of the men who end up committing the disgusting act of leaving without a goodbye are men who were themselves ghosted by a woman they loved. That pain of being left with no goodbye or being discarded like nothing drags on them like a deadweight. Then when there are issues in your relationship, they take it off like a rain-soaked overcoat and throw it on the floor, disappearing down the street. They take all the pain that was put on them and put it on you. It's depressing, awful, and you don't deserve to be treated that way. Number 6. He had a life-changing crisis and didn't want to drag you into it. This is unlikely, but it does happen and can be one of the reasons he left without saying goodbye. Sometimes a man has a problem so bad, so intense and so depressing that he spares you the pain of knowing about it. I've had women tell me that even in this case they just wanted to know and be involved. It could be interpreted as a noble act to leave with no goodbye. But when you're in love with someone, that kind of action is going to leave a deep scar regardless of why it was done. If a man has terminal cancer, is wanted by the law, or has experienced an intense personal mental health breakdown, for example, he may just disappear, hoping that he can spare you the drama. At the same time, there's always some element of self-interest in his hope that he won't have to reveal all the messy details either. It's just such a sad thing to do. Number 7. He wants to hurt you. This is not something anyone wants to consider, but one of the possible reasons he left without saying goodbye can be that he intentionally wants to hurt you. If you cheated on him or upset him in some way that he can't process and deal with, he may have decided that ghosting you is his best option to stab you in the heart. Everyone knows that leaving with no farewell is one of the worst things you can do. It's definitely possible that's exactly why he did it, because using indifference to send a message does one thing and one thing only: it hurts people. Number 8. You hurt him beyond his ability to forgive or communicate. I don't know what happened in your relationship or right before he stopped being around. Sometimes a man leaves without saying goodbye because you hurt him beyond his ability to forgive or communicate. Even an action which may seem not bad to you somehow wounded him beyond repair. He then slunk off into the smog like a coward, unable to face the feelings of betrayal, sadness and anger you brought up him. Fair or unfair, it is possible this happened. He still should have faced you and told you he was leaving, though. This relates back to the unique concept I mentioned earlier: the hero instinct. When a man feels respected, useful, and needed, he's more likely to be open about his thoughts and plans and treat his lady with respect. And the best part is, triggering his hero instinct can be as simple as knowing the right thing to say over a text. Number 9. Future plans scared and intimidated him. Many men get scared off when talk of future plans gets too intense, even if he was quite in love with you. One of the top reasons he left without saying goodbye can be that you scared him by thinking too far ahead. A man likes some freedom, and he likes to commit when you slowly let him choose to do so. Making it into an obligation or a giant schedule can be a real turn-off for a guy. It really can. You just started making plans for a joint future. Everything was so clear, but probably your boyfriend had other plans, so he left without saying goodbye. Number 10. He was playing you the whole time. This is another one of the possible reasons he left without saying goodbye. But people often avoid it because it's so hurtful. You have to consider the chance that he was playing you the whole time. What I mean by that is that this guy may never have been into you from the very start. He may have been using you for sex, money, companionship, or just for kicks. Now he left without saying goodbye for the very simple reason that you literally mean nothing to him. It's brutal, but it definitely happens. Yes, he could have made it work. He could have worked around what you were up against. But he didn't, because he didn't really want to. That's why he got angry when you called him on that. There was a reason he was a charmer. There was a reason you were the one asking all the questions. He couldn't hide who he was in the end. That's what came out. And as hard as that was for you, it's what you needed to know. Number 11. He'd rather leave without a word than open up about how he feels. Some men really are blocks of stone. The idea of opening up about how they feel terrifies and disgusts them. They'd rather just leave and be an awful person than be vulnerable and open up about their feelings. If that sounds ridiculous, it's because it is. By now you should have a better idea of why he left and didn't give you a proper explanation. So the key now is getting through to your man in a way that empowers both him and you. I mentioned the concept of the hero instinct earlier. By appealing directly to his primal instincts, you won't only solve this issue, but you'll take your relationship further than ever before. So what do you think? Do you agree with these reasons or need to add more? Leave comment below and don't forget to subscribe the channel and hit the notification button.